Today we are going to be making a delicious watermelon punch. It's super easy to make and it's perfect for those summertime parties, and we're even going to be serving it in our watermelon. My name is Alyena and welcome to my kitchen. So to start making our watermelon punch, I do need to cut off the bottom of my watermelon. If you have a watermelon that will stand up by itself, you don't need to do this, but since mine does not, I need to cut off the bottom so that there is a flat surface. I also suggest using a sharp knife because mine is pretty dull and it makes this a lot more work. And now it can stand all by itself, and we also need to cut off the top of our watermelon. We did it. This is the hardest part of making this drink, is just cutting up the watermelon. I'm just going to cut off the excess watermelon so that it is a flat surface. And all these leftovers you can eat. Delicious. I have seen a few different ways that you can do this online, but I have seen a lot of people use the immersion blender to blend all of our watermelon up. So I am going to try that. But if you do not have an immersion blender, you can always just add your watermelon to a juicer or to your blender and then strain it. And I am scooping out some of my watermelon just so I have somewhere to put my immersion blender because I don't want it to splatter all over me. One thing I do want to note, you want to make sure that you do not go through the bottom of this. The bottom does need to stay intact to keep all of that juice in here. Now I'm just straining my watermelon so that there is no pulp in the juice. We have turned our watermelon into a keg. I got this little keg kit on Amazon. I will say it was a little bit of work to put it all together, but it's such a showstopper if you're having this at parties. It's really fun to have and I enjoy it, but if you don't want to have to go through the work of making your watermelon a keg, you can always just have it in a pitcher. It's up to you. And now we can start to assemble our cocktail. So here I have all of my watermelon juice, and I'm just going to add this back into my watermelon. Stop. Also, one note, because I just learned my lesson, make sure that your faucet is on off because I just lost a lot of watermelon juice, but it's okay because we have more. So I'm going to continue filling up my watermelon. Next, I'm going to add in 1 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice. Also, I feel like watermelon and lime is just such a good combination. And I also have 1.5 cups of vodka going in. But if you don't want this to be alcoholic, you can totally skip this step. It's up to your preference. And I'm also going to be adding in 1 bottle of rosé wine. This will add some sweetness to our drink. I don't know if I'll fit all of it though, because it's starting to be pretty full. Wow, right to the top. And I'm going to stir it and give it a taste test because I don't know how sweet this is going to be. It really depends on the sweetness of your watermelon. So I have a little simple syrup off to the side, and if I find it needs a little bit more sweetness, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup. But it's important to taste it first because you can always add, but you can't take away. Oh my God, that's delicious. I don't think it needs anything at all except for some fresh mint, but that is absolutely delicious because the rosé wine really does sweeten it. And this was already a pretty sweet watermelon, so it works perfectly. I'm also adding a little sprig of mint in there because mint works so well with watermelon. That is so delicious. Today is such a hot day. It's over 100 degrees out right now, and this is the most refreshing thing I could ask for. It hits the spot. It's so flavorful, and it's really just only a handful of ingredients, so I love that. Also, if you want to see more of my delicious punches, there should be a playlist right here or over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Cheers!